All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I played Arc Raiders again. It wasn't a bad experience playing the game. It was just more so the toxic fans that I'm going to be talking about on. That's the reason why I think I'm gonna just let this game run its course and not get stuck with it. Because I'm not trying to have it where it's a game where it's like, let's say like 6-7 months down the road. I didn't mean that like in no way of referencing the meme or something. That's just how I talk. Okay, let's actually change it 7 to 8 months down the road. No, but overall, jokes aside, I'm not trying to have it where it be some time down the road and then this game ain't really all that active. Because no, it's like let me just check the player base, because the player base when I last checked, it was like half the people playing it. Okay, so it's up now. It's up now because I was like. Yeah, they was, but I mean, but still though, they lost like over 100,000 players. To me, it's like that's not good. It's like it's one of those things where I'm like, what happened to them people that were playing the game? Because I've said it before. What's going to happen with this game if they don't add no content is that this game's going to die off a lot quicker than it blew up. And that's the thing where it's like people are thinking that I'm trying to ruin the game. No, I'm just trying to have it where there's a reason to play the game. But once my thing is this, when you play the game one time, you did everything you need to do. All right, I guess like, yeah, if you trying to do the missions and level up and all that stuff, like you might have one of them OCD things where it's like, oh, I got to finish what I started when it comes to a video game. That'll probably be the only reason on why a person will be sitting down playing a game like that. But other than that, if you're trying to, I guess, look for a game to stream, or you're trying to look for a game, I guess, like, yeah, a game for content creating reasons, or even like if you're not a content creator and you just want to look for a new game to play, I guess it will be a good game if you play the game with friends. Because every time when I watch people play this game, whether it's through TikTok, Twitch, I'm always seeing people playing it with friends. If you don't have friends to play this game with, then the game, yeah, it's not a game worth getting into. And I know people will try to argue with that, and they want to know. That is facts. Not even most. If the game has a multiplayer feature, it's best to play it with people. But unless it's like, yeah, one of them story based games where it's like, you got to just play the game on your own, like something like God of War, or I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, games like that. Yeah, those would be those games where you play it by yourself. But if a game got a multiplayer feature, the game is meant to be played more so with others than it is by yourself. So that's why I'm like, yeah, in games, that's the thing. People got to stop doing that. They got to stop just creating games for one genre of people, and they're all like, oh, well, everybody else, we just gonna go and I guess, leave them. Because that's one thing about it with gaming nowadays. People jump to games like it's, like we wasn't just sitting down playing Arc Raiders for hours upon hours. Let another game come out, and I guarantee and I promise you, people are going to forget Arc Raiders. And that's why I'm like, I don't know. Like, you don't really see no games, I guess, coming out now. Because I feel like, yeah, there probably people are all like, yeah, let's just kind of chill right now. But I feel like come next year, it's definitely going to be a situation where because I'm seeing some of the games, I'm like, these games don't look all that interesting and stuff. Like, there's some where I think, I hear some, they're coming out with a boba tea shop simulator. They coming out with a simulator for everything. Visually it does look nice though, but no, I'm saying it's like, yeah, then they're also coming out with a Mount Everest mount climbing game. I'm curious how that game's gonna turn out, because they did say it was supposed to come out this month, and I'm like, fam, you guys got like what, one more day. You guys got today and tomorrow. And I'm like, they saying that the game's supposed to come out at some point this month, but I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. It does look cool though. It does look like a game worth checking out and things. Yeah, I'll probably end up checking this game out, seeing what it's all about and things. Climbing, because yeah, I don't have no plans on climbing Mount Everest in real life. So they got a video game version of it. But yeah, I could definitely see that being a game where, yeah, because they have it where it's like it's single player right now, but I can see where if they add multiplayer, it's gonna be another Peak situation. It's just a more realistic version of Peak. But yeah, no, it's like you see where games be coming out all the times, and then it's like and it's like that with Peak. Let's just see what Peak's player count is right now. Because I feel like that was a game where a lot of people were playing it at one point in time, and now you look up and people ain't even fooling with that game no more. Yeah, that game had an all-time peak of 3 months ago of 170,000 people, and there's only 32,000 people playing the game right now. I'm trying to think of some other big titles. Let's say Battlefield 6. All-time peak last month, 747,000 players was playing that game, and they had 223,000 right now. And Battlefield 6, that was supposed to be like, that was, in my opinion, that was supposed to be the biggest game this year. What else? Where Wins Me? I mean, that game is kind of new. I ain't gonna, because the game's kind of new. It has room to grow. At least that game is free. I will say that's one good thing about that game. But I guess, if we're gonna mention that game, it had 6 days ago 251,000 people playing it, and now they only got 153,000. Let's see, Call of Duty. They had an all-time peak of 491,000 people playing, and now they're at 76,000. And I guess, Call of Duty, it is a big title, but at the same time, it's like, I guess, it's overall just talking on Steam, and they mentioning Xbox and PlayStation and stuff. But, overall, though, I imagine it's most likely the same on them platforms, too, where there ain't a whole lot of people playing it and stuff. But anyways, let's see Cyberpunk 2077. Let's see what they got going on. They had an all-time peak 4.9 years ago of 1 million players. Over 1 million players. They're only at 40,000 players right now. And Escape from Tarkov, it's one of those games where I'm like, they probably, if there's a website where the game was originally, where you had to buy it at, if they had like a website for where their player count is and stuff, it probably would be a little bit higher. But on Steam, they only got 47,000. They had an all-time peak of 47,000 people, and only 25,000 people are playing it. That's going to be the same situation with Arc Raiders, where it's like, we're going to look up one day, there's a lot of people playing this game, and it ain't going to be nobody playing this game. Why? Because they're not trying to add no new content. Even if it ain't even no PvE mode, still, there are so many other different modes that you guys can add into that game. Add a wave mode, where you're going up against waves of enemies. You can even add a PvE mode, where it ain't even extraction. You're just going through just trying to kill as many robots as you possibly can. It ain't even got to be no extraction stuff. Just go in there and just try to kill as many robots as you possibly can. You don't extract with nothing, and they could even do that where it's like, okay, if you want to leave the extraction stuff for the PvE mode, then do that. But like, they should have a mode for people in there where it's like, okay, if you don't want to play the extraction mode, because I get it, people ain't trying to have it where you find all these different things and then you end up losing it after one session in the game. So they definitely should have like other modes in there to play. But that's the thing though with people, when you say stuff like that, is that they want to get upset because you're coming up with ideas on how to make this game last longer. My question is this: what's wrong with adding more modes into the game? Why does the game have to only be an extraction shooter game? Why can it not be just an overall, like, I don't know what to really call it, like an Arc Raiders simulator, where it's like there's more things that you could just do than just, one mode and one mode only. Because when you look at a lot of different games out there, and let's just say with that same I guess philosophy on the game being like a game can survive with one mode. So let's talk racing games. Do you think a racing game would survive if it only got one track and one car in it? No. Let's say Grand Theft Auto, there's only one building that you can go to, one gun that you can have, and one character that you can play as. No, like that's not gonna work. I'm trying to think of some other games. A football game, there's only one football team, and I don't know, I guess maybe that's about it. But it's like, still though, when you look at a lot of different games out there and you just see all the different, but even if it was on, like, if we're not even talking that, but if we're talking on the modes of the game, but let's just say Madden only has an exhibition mode, no career, no multiplayer, no nothing. Or let's just say they only have a multiplayer mode. You see where nowadays people be trying to aim for that, but there's people out there that still do like single player games. So people getting mad about that, I'm like, fam, there's absolutely nothing wrong. And that's why I'm like, I just wanted to say this much. Let's just test it out. Let's just test it out. If the Arc Raiders, highly doubt that they would hear this podcast episode and they'd listen to me and all that stuff, but let's just test it out. Let's see what would happen. They have like a play weekend or a beta test or play testing, but they add a PvE mode into the game. If a lot of people are playing it, cool, leave it. But if not, take it out the game. And it's like, and then yeah, just let it be a PvPvE shooter. But I think that's what so many people are afraid of, and it's mainly the toxic players that's just going around ruining the experience for other people, is that there's not going to be people for them to kill. Like, now they are going to actually have to play the game, do the missions, kill the robots and all that stuff, versus, oh, let me catch somebody lacking in the game, take whatever it is that they rightfully earned, and then have it where I just go and extract with all these different people's stuff. Because it's people like that where I'm like, you're going to be the reason why this game fails. Like, that's the thing with toxic players in games. It's like, you look at so many different games out there where they have toxic players. That's the main thing that when you look at reviews and people talking about a game, that's the main thing that people be talking about. And it's funny how, like, people don't really, when they say, like, oh, we want a PvE mode for Arc Raiders. Yeah, they're not, that's all that they want to say, because they're not trying to offend the toxic players. But we all know what they mean when they ask for that. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, hide, beat around the bush. No, I'm going to just flat out say it. I want a PvE mode in that game because people are toxic and they're out to ruin other people's experience for the game. I'm not trying to have that. When I'm playing the game, I'm just trying to have fun with it. If that's too much to ask for, then yeah, then it shouldn't even be a video game, or it shouldn't even be an option to buy that game then. But it's like, or if that's the case, then I'm like, the game should have been free. But having it where it's like you paying money to have it where you're constantly getting killed left and right by people that's just, oh, I just want to ruin your experience and all that stuff. And that's the thing. I shouldn't have to be worried about that when playing the game. Like, there's games out there, because I think Gray Zone Warfare, that's the one game where it does have a PvPvE mode, and then they have a PvE mode. And that's one game where I'm like, fam, there's an example right there of, yeah, you can coexist. Like, they can have a PvPvE mode, and then they can also have a PvE mode. And I'm like, my thing is that I think a game like that, it would survive. I just think that they need to tone down the AIs. Like, I would say that it was a little bit easier to kill enemies in Arc Raiders than it was Gray Zone Warfare, because Gray Zone Warfare, you'll be shooting at an enemy, and it's like you can shoot them in the head like 4 or 5 times or something, then eventually they die. And I'm like, bro, it should have just been a one headshot kill. Then they also have it set up where if they shoot you, then it's like you just die instantly. Yeah, I was like, that was one game where I'm like, it was more so the AI that was, or the NPCs, because I don't even think, let's see real quick there, I don't think they really got nothing going on with this game, especially right now, because I think with Arc Raiders, they might be trying to change up some stuff and do some things with the game. But yeah, I just think that yeah, right now, maybe I'll have to see. I'll have to look into the game and see what they got going on, because I feel like, yeah, it's they're either trying to like try to get people back to playing their game, but let's just see what the player count is for that game. It probably might not be all that high and stuff, but let's see. Gray Zone Warfare, dang, yeah, they had an all-time peak. And that's my thing is this is I feel like, yeah, maybe if they would have had a little bit more than just, an extraction shooter mode in the game, like they had career mode, PvP, like traditional PvP where it's just some multiplayer stuff, wave mode. If they add a bunch of different things into the game, we'll see a lot of different people playing it. But currently right now they have 1,500 people playing the game, and then it's only but then they had an all-time peak of 72,000 people that played it 1.5 years ago. And I'm like, and that's the thing with people, it's like, here's the thing, here's what I have to say about extraction shooters. Extraction shooters, it ain't gonna be no different than battle royale games some years ago and survival games some years before the battle royale trend. Because I remember when survival games where they had like Rust, DayZ, H1Z1, 7 Days to Die, those were like some of the top selling games at one point in time on Steam. Everybody was playing those games. I even say like DayZ, I probably at one point in time I feel like DayZ had to have been the most played game. Actually, no, I take that back. It wasn't the most played game, but they had an all-time peak, 78,000. Dang, I feel like it should be more than that. That's actually kind of insane. Why? That's low. They said release date 28. No, that game came out long before 2018. Because I'm trying to think, when did they definitely, that game's been out a lot longer than that, because I remember buying that game, the DayZ, when it was like, yeah, because I have videos of myself playing DayZ back in like 2015, I think. Hold on for a second, let me check my gaming channel. I know I wasn't posting no DayZ videos. I've had to have posted some in 2018, but I know that they definitely was out a lot longer before that. Yeah, that's, yeah. Yeah, I played, and that was before they had the, it was DayZ standalone gameplay, and I posted that video in 2015. So, yeah, that website is lying. Steam, DB, yeah, they straight up lied. They talking about release date December 13th, 2018, and I'm like, fam, I have video evidence of myself playing that game long before that, but anyways, but no, yeah, it was like survival games. I remember there were so many different survival games coming out on Steam, and it was like, I think there was like this one called like Let's Survive Now or something like that. But you had H1Z1, you had 7 Days to Die, Rust, DayZ, and those was like the top selling games at one point in time on Steam. Fast forward some years later, the Battle Royale trend happens. H1Z1, they then switched their whole game to where now it's a Battle Royale. Like, it ain't even focused on this survival mode anymore. But then you start seeing that PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty Blackout, Call of Duty Warzone. I'm trying to think of some other Battle Royale games. But yeah, you were seeing so many different types, from like AAA titles to indie games to, probably even some art or mobile games and stuff of Battle Royales. Then what else? Then yeah, fast forward now you got extraction shooters. What my question is what's going to be next? And do you think Arc Raiders is still, because yeah, everybody's having a fun with it now, but my thing is this: if they don't do nothing to that game, and then the developers continue on listening to the toxic fan base, Arc Raiders ain't going to be a successful game. It's not good. Yeah, it might get Game of the Year and all these other different accolades and achievements and stuff, but eventually it's going to get to a point in time, people that moved on to the game, we look up, and it's only going to probably be like, at most, 20,000 people. If not that, I have to say max 40,000 people probably playing the game, versus having it where it was like this game was at like 200,000 to 400,000 people playing it on a regular basis. So that's why I'm like, my thing is this: you want good things to happen to your game, you can't be just sitting around listening to, and this goes out to all developers, do not listen to the toxic fans. And there's people there recommending ideas for your guys' game, but then you got them toxic fans where they're like, no, that's going to ruin the game, that's going to make it boring, that's going to do not listen to those types of people, because all they just trying to do is just limit the game and just continue on being trolls to others. I guess if you guys support that, then yeah, you do what you got to do, but I guarantee and I promise you the game ain't gonna last. But if you actually sit down and take the time to listen to people on what ideas that they have for the game, I guarantee and I promise you Arc Raiders will be the next Fortnite, it'll be the next Call of Duty. But like when those games was in their prime, I mean, yeah, Fortnite's still in their prime, they still got a good thing going for themselves. But overall though, I'm like, yeah, you'll see a lot of good things happening to that game if you sit down, you take the time to listen to all the feedback, not just the toxic feedback, all of the feedback. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.